Good afternoon, folks. Welcome back to Collaboration Conversations. I'm your co-host, Regina Partain Bergman. My co-host, Pearl Cox, is unable to be with us at this time, so I've chosen to move forward with guest co-host, and this has been the most fun. When Pearl gets back, we're going to continue this because it's just too much fun. So my guest co-host today is Adam Bricker, who is CEO of Adam Connects. Welcome, Adam.
Hi, Regina. What an honor to be here. And by all means, send my best to Pearl.
Will do. And it is great to see you. Adam, will you take a moment, tell us a little bit about your journey that's brought you to this place in life and who you serve and why? And then will you introduce our guests and have them do the same thing?
Oh, yeah. I like doing all those things. I get to talk about my journey. It's pretty amazing. I started as a television director. I used to direct the television news, and we put on information that was pretty persuasive. I just didn't like the agenda. I couldn't agree with what they were saying with on the news. So what we did is we turned around and we used that style, that influential style in advertising, marketing, and now I have a project called Faster Class TV. And we also take advantage of one undeniable fact in the business phases world is everybody carries a smartphone. So we're particularly good at putting your brand in the hand of the people that need to work with you. Um, I work with businesses from startups to large corporations. The size of it doesn't matter. I do like to focus on heart-centered entrepreneurs. That's really where things mesh well. That's why I'm on this call because that's you, Regina. That's Robert. That is Pearl, and that's the majority of the people that I work with. Um, Heart-centered people who want more clients. They can call me. We work on that.
Awesome.
Surrounding that, and since we're on collaboration today, one of the things that we do is we have a pickleball team. We're the directors of Team Pro Light, and we asked Robert to come on today. Robert's with a company called Zalevo. I'm happy and proud to share that I drink Zalevo. I eat Zalevo protein. I changed my whole body composition. It's not appropriate to flex on this show, is it? I shouldn't like go like this or anything,
Whoa,
right? So
we'll take it.
what a difference it's made on bringing me back from an injury, and the injury was with a from a car accident, and it's really revamped and changed my life. And Robert, please finish your own introduction over here.
Thank you, Adam and Regina. Regina, we go way back as well, a number of years, actually over a decade now. It's crazy enough. And then Adam and his beautiful wife, Sarah. So yeah, who I serve individuals who, number one, who want to be a force for good. My overriding core value with my community is let's be a next level, higher force for good. And to me, good connotates to be a person of influence and to pursue excellence in our life, our relationships, our spiritual walk. The whole kit and caboodle. It's who we are. Is that it? One aspect of it. We have the mindset, movement, and spiritual walk. One aspect that I focus on is high level, clean, no compromise nutrition combined with the right mindset. And so I've been on that journey. I've been an athlete all my life, endurance athletics, all the way through growing up in the South to running and then triathlons and then competing in a crazy sport called ski archery. And then I had a spiral down with my own wellness. I attempted, which is really common, to outtrain and outwork poor nutrition. And it caught up with me and I suffered the consequence of that. And nutrition woke my body back up again, and I spiraled up again, and I was able to pursue excellence and all the different aspects, including time with my grandbabies. And that's what put me on this mission to be with a community committed to being a force for good. I'm helping to launch a new brand, as Adam said. We're very excited, and it's truly a core value-based, legacy, faith-based brand. So
I love it. I love it. And as you said, Robert, we've known each other for a long time, and your values are always, how do I want to say this? You always live your values from my experience with you. And, you know, have always treasured our relationship. So that said, you two have a new relationship. And I want to hear more about this and the collaboration that's going on between the two of you and how you're getting a bigger impact from that collaboration, because I know that you're always, as you just said, Robert, you want to be a force for good in the world. So good collaboration to me doesn't just mean that I get something, you get something, but it's got to be a win-win-win, right? At least a three-way win, if not greater. So how are you two collaborating? There you go. And what's that bigger impact that you're making through this collaboration?
So I'm going to build on what Buckminster Fuller did. And if you're not familiar with Bucky, he's the fellow who actually coined the term win-win as it applies for business. Before then, business was really a battlefield. And then, Pro, you said, I'm sorry, Regina, you said something that's really close to my heart. You said win-win-win. Okay. Now, if Robert's company makes more money than because he's collaborating with our pickleball team, I'm great with that. But my team has to get the results. And I'll tell you the simplest collaboration, immediate effects that most people don't know, I didn't know was bringing the value, is when you're playing the endurance version of pickleball, you need to stay hydrated. And a lot of people drink water with the illusion that that's what's going to hydrate them. Okay. Putting the water into your body, absolutely necessary. Everybody on the pickleball team is on board with that. However, how your body receives the water is a different story. There's a point where the more you put in, you just have to go to the bathroom. Nobody wants to have to go to the bathroom in the middle of a pickleball game. So by using he brought on the lead developer, the formulator for the Zalevo product, and she talked about cellular hydration, the capacity to retain the water that comes in. And I don't want this to turn into the science class over here, but this is the collaboration. People wanted hydration. He brought in a way to be better hydrated, and now we're seeing the results of that. Sarah and I were in a pickleball competition this weekend. Okay. By the way, my first one in a year and a half in recovering. Boom. My first one after these months of Zalevo into my body. Saturday night, I had more energy than anybody left. Sunday night, not only did Sarah and I have more energy, we both won our divisions, and we both hit the winning shots to win the championship. And
nice.
Thank you, Robert. That is part of the collaboration that we have.
That is awesome. Robert?
It is awesome. There's so many things that often enough we take for granted, meaning you would think to carry on with that subject, it applies for all of us, whether we're insurance agents, realtors, entrepreneurs, networkers, whatever it is, whatever we do, amazing high-level coaches like, Regina, you are as well, and innovative marketing gurus like Mr. Adam here, my good friend. So it doesn't matter. Our health is vital. And so a misconception is more water equals hydration, when in reality, more water combined with the chelators, the keys, which is the minerals along with the H2O molecule, only then when it goes in there and knocks on the little cellular membrane, the wall, just H2O alone, the cell, I don't recognize you. Where's your buddy? I can recognize you with a buddy, which is an essential mineral, like electrolyte. Electrolyte is mineral, in case you didn't know. And if the minerals are there with the water molecules, the cell can say, oh, I recognize you now. Let's open up the door and allow hydration. And it's that simple of a concept, which we aren't taught. So part of that collaborative effort is clearing up some common misconceptions on the simple things, because the simple things add up to the major, major monumental things, so.
What a great example of collaboration. I mean, that is such a great metaphor for collaboration, isn't it? The way that the water and the key work together for that impact, and the way we collaborate together for greater impact. So love that. Welcome, Laura. Nice to have you here. Adam, would you take a moment and introduce Laura for us?
Absolutely, and we're here live with Regina, and the show's about collaboration. And she said, bring on somebody you're collaborating with and somebody you'd like to collaborate with, and that would be Laura. And Laura
Ah,
has a collaborative project of her own where she brings in a wide variety of solopreneurs who are all these heart-centered, good to the world type people. And she's put together a conference for collaboration. So Laura, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I apologize for being late. It took 10 minutes to load Google Chrome.
oh
I think I need to restart my computer.
So we
I
can
can
bring on
relate to that, Laura.
Go ahead and finish introducing yourself.
No worries. So yeah, I'm Laura Lake. What I talk about is how we elevate our stories, especially for those mess-to-message type solopreneurs, which is what Adam was talking about. And this whole solopreneur conference is exactly that. It's about collaborating with other heart-centered people who have their own messages, their own missions, and finding ways to elevate that conversation. Because here's the hook. I call BS on the whole know, like, and trust. And I do that. Yeah, I say it that way to kind of catch your attention. But really, it's how do we treat each other like human beings? And how do we have that collaborative community feel so that we're not all like, I'm an expert. You should totally listen to me. It's like you're an expert and you're an expert and you're an expert. And together we can have an even better experience. And so that's really what I want to have. So thank you for
Love it.
having me, Adam. And is it Regina?
It's Regina.
Regina? Okay, I
Yeah.
wanted to make sure I got that right. Regina.
She's Canadian.
Yeah, well, and I have a really good friend from Saskatchewan, from Regina, and so she struggles now and then to come out of Regina into Regina.
Okay.
So, well, welcome, Laura. Great to have you here. Tell us a little bit more about this Solopreneur Conference, if you will.
Ooh, what do you want to know? More hooks? Okay, well, first off, Adam he was lovely. He came and he actually attended our Q&A live. So thank you for that. Really what it's about is, don't tell anybody, but behind the scenes, it is really supporting the mental health of solopreneurs without necessarily talking about mental health. Because before COVID, let's get into numbers. Before COVID, it was 1 in 2 solopreneurs that suffered from mental health issues, where service providers was 1 in 3 and the general public was 1 in 5. Now I can't even imagine. I don't even want to imagine where that has ended up. But we are the face, heart, and hand of our business.
Yes.
There's no entity, there's no little cute animal that is pretending to be us. We are everything. We wear all of the hats. And so we're so hard on ourselves, especially when we have that mission or that message behind what it is that we do. And we tend to still speak from that place of pain. So what I really love to do with my clients is help them to see that that pain is lovable. That pain can have sparkle. That pain isn't necessarily brokenness and needs to be fixed. It can be loved. And if we allow ourselves to love that, then when we speak about our journey, that dip, whatever you want to call it, then the people that want to follow the same kind of journey you have don't see your results and then shy away because, well, you still are in pain. And I picked that up based on the way that you talked about your story, but yet you have all the results that I want. So we want to have a conversation. I call it the courageous connection formula, which really takes the human being into account. And all of our speakers speak to a different step of that. And it's not me telling you, you have to do this exact thing. It's here's a principle. And when we use these principles in this particular order, it builds on top of each other to create a foundation that matches who you are as a person. You express your business the way that you want to express your business. Here are just the principles that tie it all together with structure. And so that's what the Courageous Connection formula is. Yeah.
Love it. And I completely agree from what you just said that it is all about collaboration. And it's another great metaphor for collaborating, because as you're taking people through that journey and each person, sharing a different step of that journey, that's all collaborative. Absolutely. I also completely agree with you about the burnout issue. I think we are totally in epidemic proportions. That burnout is an epidemic right now. And it's, we see it every day impacting people. So,
And that's why I want to talk about it without talking about it. Because if I talk about it while talking about it, then people are like,
yeah,
I don't want to have that conversation. But if we
right.
speak
Don't
about
want to admit it.
yeah, if we speak about it in a way that they want to learn, they want to grow,
Right.
they have that enthusiasm, then they grow without knowing they're growing.
Yeah.
My favorite, I was like, I see that sparkle. I know it's growing. Let's build
I
more.
love it. That is awesome.
It's so funny. It's because we drink these nutritional supplements from Robert's company, and Sarah and I, we want to know the science behind it. We want to know how it's going to affect our body. What order we should take it in. But the kids just like the way they taste. The kid, we're not telling the kid, hey, we're giving you minerals and electrolytes in your diet so you have more energy when you're in school. No, it's just go have fun and enjoy the drink. So I love that, Laura.
It'll help you enjoy it even more. Right, Robert?
Exactly, especially when you see peers and you put especially with again, apply it to the chapter or the demographic of the ranges we all go through. And the kids are motivated by very different values and priorities than we have as adults. So when we can taper it there and have fun with it. Yeah.
Now, if you tie it into gaming, my daughter is all over it. I mean, we come from a family of gamers, so I do know where that came from. But
yeah.
And look at the entrepreneurial arena. They're unique animals. Very unique animals. It takes a lot of grit. It takes a whole different mindset. They're like the John Waynes and Sally Waynes. If you want to, Sally Wayne, John Waynes, and I'm trying to. The Amelia Earharts of our history as human beings. That they're in that small percentile of human beings that you're actually speaking to. So,
yeah. Is this an in-person conference or is it virtual or both, Laura?
So before COVID, I was just about to sign the contract with a local hotel, and then everything got shut down. I was like, oh, thank God I did not sign that.
Yes.
So it has been virtual. Yeah. 2021 was the first year we did it.
Right.
And so that was virtual. I used a whole new platform that I had never heard of because I wanted it to feel like an in-person conference, not the Hollywood squares of Zoom.
What did you use, just out of curiosity?
I used a new platform called AirMeet. They've only been around for a couple of years.
I've used them. Yeah.
Oh, have you? Yeah.
Yes.
I love it. Like I get to choose my chair. And then instead of like the spam, you know how everybody spams the chat. Here's my wall of text about who I am. I click on your face and I can see that bio and your links already. It's like, so much easier.
I'll have to check it out again. It's been
a
year or two anyway, probably year and a half to two since I used it. So
well, if I may be so bold, we're having an open networking event on Monday. You're more than welcome to come. Yeah.
What time?
It is 7 p.m. Atlantic. I'm not sure where you are.
Okay.
Which is 6 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Most people understand Eastern, so I tend to convert.
Yes.
And that first hour is open to everyone. After that, the next hour is only VIP because we're going to be talking collaborations and JV partnerships and that kind of stuff, which you really only want to do with smaller groups. So I'm like, come and do my network.
So let's talk about that. Let's take that to the next level.
Yeah.
How do you qualify any of you, how do you qualify people that you want to collaborate with?
Ooh, that's a great question.
Well,
I'm just, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
no, I have an easy maybe conversation to start this thought. I pause and say, is this somebody I would love to invite over for dinner with me and my kids, my grandkids?
Love
And
it.
end of story.
Yeah,
That could be one place to start.
That
it
is
could indeed.
definitely the place that I start, Robert. And then I take it another step further. I was like, okay, because I'm the type of person I would have practically anybody over at my house. So that's quite low level for me. Next step for me is, okay, what if things went wrong with this? Could I still be civil with you
Oh,
if some sort of thing happened? Because you never know. There's always missteps, boundaries,
right.
like something. There's always something that can go on. So can I be civil with you and still love you through all of that?
That's a good one.
So
How
far,
about
yes.
you, Adam? Oh, yeah.
Oh, I have a
Adam, how
really
about you?
easy solution. I get them on the call with Sarah. I'm a very open, very trusting person. So Sarah can read people really well, so I trust her a lot. And for my TV network for Faster Class, I have them send in a video, and then we can evaluate, is this person able to deliver what they're saying, and get the message across in a way that's trustable. I
Yeah.
was going to say likable, but Laura's on the call, so we don't want to mess with that. Or we see where they need help, and we see where, look, we want to bring you in as a partner, but before that you need X, Y, and Z. And some people go, oh my goodness, I want to be a partner, let's do that. And some people are like, well, that's too much for me, I'd rather stay in my own lane. And I respect that, and we just won't be in alignment with them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh, it made me think of something else, Adam. You had mentioned, I'm guessing that she's your wife,
Sarah?
Sarah?
Sarah's my wife.
Okay, double checking. Uh, I read eyes. So it's not so easy here because you guys are tiny on my
Yeah.
screen. But
I know.
yeah, there you go, Adam. Yeah, if you take off your glasses, I can read your eyes. Oh, Robert, you actually have such a kind heart, but you're very logical in the way that you do it. Okay. It's kind of fun to see. Like, I can read your personality, I can read your emotions. If I'm looking for something specific, it's a lot easier to say, oh, would Adam and I actually be a good fit for this? And then I can like stare at your face while you're not looking. Just go to preview your Facebook page, stare at the picture for a little bit. I've been known to do that. So
Yeah, and isn't that so true? It's never been easier to kind of stalk, if you want. To me, it's an ideal word, but maybe purview or whatever, review somebody's, look at their pictures, look at their quotes, look at how they respond, look at how they communicate, and watch a video or two, as you said, Laura. And my goodness, their body language and how they hold themselves and how they express themselves says a
Yeah.
whole lot.
And I do that even when someone is applying to join my Facebook group. If it's not someone I invited, I'm going to go check them out. I'm looking for a lot of things. What are some of the how do you what are some of the values that you yeah, sorry, Laura. Yeah, the brain's going faster than the mouth can process. Some of the values that you're looking for, Robert, you beautifully said, you want to bring them into your home or, is this someone I would bring into my home with my wife and my grandchildren, kind of a thing. What are some of the other values that you're looking for in a collaborative partner? Because you're right, Laura, the last thing you want is for it to go south. It's not a comfortable feeling. Had that happen, and it's not a comfortable place to be. And you prefer that you didn't go down that road rather than wind up at the end of that road. So
I will share something that I've been learning a lot lately. So I love people. I'm an extrovert. Like, I can't help it. I just love people. But at the same time, I can get really excited easily by having those conversations. So on the nose, it'll look like there's such a deep connection. And then I read them a little bit and I kind of get this feeling of, okay, well, who is this person exactly? But I found recently that sometimes there's a person that I absolutely adore, but the way that they express connection, because to me, connection and love are two of my highest values, which is why I do the heart and why I talk about courageous connection. Um, but sometimes I meet that person who does love to connect, but they love to connect in, how shall I word this? A strong sales manner.
Okay.
I guess it's like the very polite way to put it. I don't mind selling. I don't mind sharing. I love all of that, but just the way that they can come across sometimes, because part of that, if I want to read into it, for some people is a bit of desperation. It's
Mhm.
the I'm not making enough. I want to grow my business. I. And I pick up on that.
Yeah.
But to me, if I'm not the person, oh my God, like, can I connect you to the person? Is it Adam and I get $0 from it, but I know that you're going from point A to point B and getting that connection that
Yeah.
you need? That feeds me. That makes me happy, even if I get nothing from it. That's
Absolutely.
what I love to find in other people. And when I don't find that, it's what adds tension to my life. And I don't need any more of that. I can do that well enough on my own. So
Yeah, and don't you think? Yeah, so well said, Laura. But isn't that the case though? We may not even sense or see that ideal connection. That doesn't mean that there isn't an ideal connection in someone in our network for sure. Always thinking about that. How can we make those
Yeah.
connections possible? Make them happen, and then we have the law of reciprocity kick in. And
Yes.
and part of it to me, there's again, I said it earlier, as far as being able to discern someone's how they communicate and see how they show up in life, and also right alongside of that, because of the nature of what we've all been through, even globally. To me, there hasn't been a more pressing time where to step into and voice what our core values are. And so I think what I do know, speaking of collaborative efforts, when I meet somebody like, well, Adam and Sarah again, yes, I would love, they're likable, love to have them over, obviously in my home. Can I still be civil if something goes south, as Laura said? Get them on the line with I'm like you, Adam, have Joy get on the line with me and say hi in her loving, joyful way. And then also uncover more and more of those. I'm very clear on what my core values are. And so then I can turn around and say, is there a common resonance there with, their core values without even having to ask them. So Adam, what are your core values? I don't have to go there. I can see what they are by how we're communicating and how we're showing up. So to me, there's never been a more pressing time to be very clear and verbalize what those values are as we look for collaborations.
Agreed. Have you ever been in a collaboration that did reach a point of strain, a point of this isn't working even though you thought it was going to? And how do you handle those?
Open, prompt, clear communication is, to me, a big part of it.
Yeah. You have to step up, right? You have to step up and express what's in your mind. Laura, go ahead.
I want to be direct. But at the same time, I have also been on the other end of it where my life has been very deep, very dark. And so I understand the mental health side. So I'm like, how can I
Mm,
word this in a way that helps somebody understand the tension in me without building tension in them?
mm,
So depending on the situation, it could be, okay, I love you dearly. And I really think that maybe this other project would be better for us. I think it'll flow better. I think just the way that we're working right now, this would just be the best. And someone else, it could be like, That was great. I loved having you. I would love to change directions. I want to switch it up. I want to play with something new. This has been wonderful. Thank you. Do you happen to
Yeah.
know anybody? And then I kind of like segue it into something else.
Yeah.
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 So I'm not
Adam,
changing them,
go
I'm
ahead.
empowering them at the same time. Yeah.
Yeah. Very good.
I
Adam?
asked for clarity, because a good 60-70% of the time of what I think is wrong is just my perception, and it's missing elements. So I always want to ask for clarity. And in the type of people I want to have a relationship, they're three-dimensional people. They're present with you in the moment. They stand behind what they do. So if they're not doing what they say they're going to do, they're going to do it. And they have the ability to be out in front and be malleable in change. I'm a creative person. I have something that I brought to the table for Robert the other day, that when he made the agreement with me, he didn't know he was going to make a faster class TV program, but he's out in front. And I said, hey, we have this great way to make exposure. And boom, he delivers on that. So in all three dimensions, if we're not hitting on those, I want to ask, why? My perception is this and this and this is happening. What am I missing? Or what else can you share with me? And then that direct prompt communication to address whatever issues are being dealt with.
Yeah, so true. And I to put it in the context of, once I was in a collaboration of some sort, Regina, and then conflict or tension occurred. For me, one of the big parts of conflict resolution, much less lowering tension, is I think number one, as Adam said, clarity, go directly to the source, versus we've all been taught through all kinds of from biblical principles to all the different supposedly aha moments through mankind's writings and learnings, but it's all ancient. It's part of our innate DNA. But when it arises, we can easily listen to all the different insights versus just going right to the source in a loving, kind, gracious manner with grace, striving to put down judgment and the filters, which is not always easy to do.
Right.
We all see things through filters, but to a point. But put them down. Put the judgment down if we can, and clarity. Because people that I've been in conflict with in the past, a number of them ended in a resolution, and it had to be a final black and white resolution. Because once we clarified that the conflict occurred and it was intentional, and in 2 or 3 cases it was malicious intent, then it was from a position of self-protection for my team and my community. And 1 or 2 individuals can create conflict and destruction for many. It's exponential if we allow it, and it can fester in there if we don't address it. So
true. Good point, Robert. Good point. I love that you are all heart-centered. And Laura says, how did you figure that out? And that you have, that you come to these collaborations with intentionality to serve, whether it be clients or the other partner, the collaborative partner. And again, coming back to that win-win-win attitude of, it needs to be a win for you, a win for me, and a win for those we serve. And so, where was I going? Somebody help me out here.
I would
You
love
never
to
have those moments, do you? Say again, Laura.
I said I would love to give an example of that.
Please.
I'm going to self-plug for a moment because I'm practicing doing that. The Solopreneur Conference is designed so that we don't have this big ticket item that we're selling at the end. Okay, it's the whole event is about what is your next step as an attendee? How can we work together, the sponsors, the partners, the speakers, and the host, together as a team to help you go wherever it is that you want to go? So instead of having this big ticket that we're all like, you should go into this generic thing, is Adam your next step? Is Robert your next step? Is Regina your next step? Because they're badass at what they do. And here's the logical next step after we just talked about and showed you, because we have implementation pieces on, what they do. So then it's logically like so easy, that tension is down, that barrier of entry is down to just flow. And that's what we want with collaboration, is to flow and
Yeah.
ease. Yeah.
Flow and ease.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes.
Helpful?
Robert.
Yeah, and I was going to add flow and ease, heart space, grace, etc.,
Mhm.
combined with firm,
Yes.
standing firm in what is right and what is wrong, and getting clear. Often enough, I think I do see, and myself, I've done this before. I'm, heart-centered, yes, and gracious, and sometimes it's easy just to kind of lean over and here it goes, versus just standing up and saying, does this need to be addressed, and then addressing it. And then I think one huge caveat for us was having a neutral third party involved in those conversations. That helps dramatically.
Nice idea.
Yeah.
What about setting expectations from the beginning? Does that come into play?
I think that has a lot to do with the values that you just asked us about. It's like, how do I want to be treated? How do I want to treat the people that I love and care about? Because as a heart-centered business, we want to love and care about our audience. It's like,
Right.
how can I be that? How can I show that? How can I create a space for that, to not allow, as you said, Robert, that little thing that can easily get into our businesses or our communities and
Yeah.
just turn everything dark.
Yeah. Adam?
So I come from living on the beach, and my time in Canada right now is temporary. And I don't care how beautiful it is on the beach and how much your surroundings are, a few grains of sand in the wrong area causes an issue. So you want to make sure that you keep everything as clean as you can to keep that communication flowing. Expectations are huge if they're not met, because when you have a collaboration, it's not always the same expectations going out. Robert doesn't want the same thing from sponsoring Sarah and her pickleball greatness that I want from it. Some things are mutual, but it's the collaboration. We're looking for different results. If I'm getting the results I want and he's not getting the results he wants, is that on me? Is that on him? Where's that missing? So I'm a kind of person that likes to have meetings, but I like to have meetings that are productive so that we can always be on that same page. What are you thinking? What are you feeling? How are things going? Because the old adage of things could turn on a dime is so true.
Yes.
It's so true. Success and failure is there's such a thin line sometimes between those. And when you're collaborating, that communication from the first day you set it out to where you are now, things shift. So let's make sure we're collaborating in the shifts as well.
Yeah, very true.
Excellent.
And don't you think too, Adam, that I think all of us would agree here, is that even the small stuff, expectation, if we set a time, then if you're going to be late, text me, message me. If we say we're going to follow through with something, when we come back and maybe we need some more time, we can renegotiate. And there was a project, Adam brought it up, just to be very transparent. My intention was to get some video tools to him more in a more efficient manner. And when I was delayed in the process, I messaged Adam and said, Adam, I don't do excuses. Hadn't got it done. Here's my new expectation that I would like to present on the table, or, will this work for you? Adam replied back very graciously, yes, Robert. So it was a matter of, again, expectation around even the small things to honor. We honor ourselves by honoring others and starting with the small stuff. A little caveat to one of my key mentors who taught me about the small stuff, Brian Clemmer. He's in heaven now. And if you want to see some beautiful mentoring with a strong emphasis on that personal mastery, personal responsibility, starting with the tiny stuff, oof, yeah, Brian did a beautiful job there. He's written some books and have seminars. But
That's awesome. And doesn't that all come back to values again?
Yeah, Absolutely. Right back to values.
Yeah. Right back to values.
And standards. They're very, they're very close cousins. And
Yeah.
to me, the differentiator is values. To me, can be a little more, to me, a bigger kind of heavy sometimes, where that standard is something that I just kind of put out there, and I either step into it or I don't. But yeah, they go hand in hand.
All in that realm, huh?
I like
Awesome.
that. I want to elaborate on that, Robert.
Please.
For me, it's like I love words. The word standard has shifted for me because I used to think I'm a perfectionist, and I totally was. But then I would tell myself, "Oh, I just have high standards," which I did. But like it was different. Perfectionism and high standards were different. When I think of standards now, it's like standard is my baseline. So I can express this value in any way possible. And even if I do the minimum, I'm still expressing my value. But if I do that in tandem with having standards, like having those baseline minimums, I'm thinking building codes because I used to be in architecture. Like those aren't, if you do it here, everything will be fine. It's those are the minimum.
Minimums.
Would you like to be to standard, or would you like to overcome standard, or would you like to exceed standards?
Yeah, I'm getting goosebumps to add to, if I may, Laura.
Yeah,
I was
exciting. Go.
I was listening to one of my other key mentors this morning. I know we're all four of us. I know you well enough, Laura, that you're always growing. So this morning he talked about these next few decades, even that, well, especially the next 3 to 5, 10 years, is that there's a growing, it's exponential, that individuals who are playing in the around in the pond of mediocrity, and the individuals who pursue excellence, it's a smaller percent. That's the forecast, if you want to call it that, but it is the harsh reality as well. In this day and age, there's so many ways to passively watch other people living life and having adventures and everything else, and it's easier to step into that place and lower our standards versus stepping into a place and keep growing, keep stretching, keep pursuing excellence. That divide, in his terminology, it's going to get a little bigger and wider. Just be very aware of it.
Mm.
Especially like since COVID, the last couple years, I have watched some of my favorite entrepreneurs step back, and I'm like, no, 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 no. You, the world needs you to do what you do because I don't do it. Like the world needs you. So watching these people step back, it makes me want to step forward even more and do the work that I do even more because I'm like, the world needs you. And I don't have 10,000 lifetimes to get the 10 million things that I want to get done. You need to be a part of that in whatever capacity that you can be in right now. And my job is to help support you in that, especially as someone who has been down that dark hole, as I had mentioned before.
Yeah.
Watching people go through that, it's like, no, that's part of my job, not just the thing that I do in my business, but it's also if I have been through that struggle and I have learned something, it is now my duty to help you recognize that and to do what I can in a way that is supportive for you, but also in a way that you're willing to accept, which is the hard part right now. People are like, I know there's something wrong with me and I do not want your advice. Okay. How can I just sit here and be a friend during that time? And sometimes it's all we need to start with.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just being present sometimes is enough. Yeah.
You know, it's funny. I'm an expert at what we do. When we put together the TV program, or we put together the digital branding toolbox for our clients, sometimes they ask for things that are very specific. And sometimes they ask for things that are specific but detrimental to their marketing message. So I want to say this is this, and they make the number one mistake that marketers make, that solopreneurs make, is they think that they are their own target market. And so I have been in conflict with people in a collaboration. They say, well, I know this is going to work better, and then what I want it this way. And So we've come to the I've come to the evolution of we're going to do it both ways. We'll do it this way on one page, we'll do it this way on the other, and that way you can do your own test marketing A and B. We'll do ours for you, and you can come back. And there's so many times that they come back and they say, you're the professional, I should have listened to you. And I say, you're my partner, I listened to you and still did things the right way. So I wanted you to know you had you had my respect, you had my honor, but you also have my dedication to my profession.
Yeah.
And that is a 3-step way to really earn more trust from your collaborative partners.
I love that. And
Very
I want
nice.
to add a little bit of clarity to that, because those are the people that I love to work with, right? Are those mess to message. So they think that they are their target audience. But here's the difference. The old version of them is their target audience, not the version of them that they are now. So most of the time when you're getting those people, they're trying to speak their current language, not their past language. Or they're speaking the language of the things that they did and the results that they got versus the emotional journey of what that person is going through. Yeah. So
Brilliant.
And isn't that the challenge, the pressing challenge for entrepreneurs who do provide a solution they're passionate about and can relate to? Because once we experience something, it's 100%. It's impossible to 100% go back and be there. So we attempt to go back the best of our ability, as you said, Laura. So a part of that's giving ourselves grace to go back and at least salvage the essence of what we were feeling, how we were acting, what we were looking for, what was the pain points, what were the solution points we were open to. And yes, that is an ongoing challenge. That's a beautiful clarification.
That is all of the work that I do, is I take people through their stories to help them understand that old version of them so that they can market, so that they can communicate and understand, truly show that old version is the part that needs to be loved, not the one that has already accomplished the thing. Yeah. Because if you can't love that person, there's no way that you're going to be happy where you're at.
Very nice. Very
I love
nice.
it. That's what the whole conference is about. We're helping.
And we could go on, but guess what, folks? We're out of time. So, thank you all for being here. This has been a great discussion, and I think you have all added to this library of knowledge about collaborations just beautifully. What I'd like to do now is to have each person just make a 1 or 2 sentence wrap up statement, and then tell folks how they can get in touch with you. So Laura, can we start with you?
Sure, we can start with me. What I really want to wrap up is that I'm hoping people will learn to create clients versus find them by courageously connecting to their audience and speaking from their sparkle. That's what I'm all about. The sparkle of the eyes, the sparkle of the heart, all of that. The best way to contact me is on my Facebook page. So facebook.com/Laura Lake Designs with an S on the end, or you can check out the Solopreneur Conference. So Facebook/Solopreneur Conference.
Awesome. Thank you, Laura. Robert?
Yes, thank you, Regina, Laura, Adam, and those watching this. What I want to put out there is that in order to create a bigger impact, to be able to give back more at a high level and sustain that in all areas of our life, obviously in the business world, our personal journeys, our spiritual walk, our athletic expression, whatever that be, please consider the reality, because I had to learn the hard way that I could not out practice, out train, outperform poor nutrition. So that's why I became so passionate. I've been through a number of ventures now, and now one that I love dearly, and they were all tied to nutrition, because to be a force for good, to continue to pursue excellence, we have to fuel our bodies and our minds and our souls. And so, yeah, just please pause and ask yourself the question, are you investing as much in fueling your mind and your body as much as you are in other areas of your life, whether it be your car, your home, your clothes, your makeup, whatever it is. I know Adam and I spend a lot of money with our makeup, but again, so just ask yourself the question. And if we do not, it will eventually, our body will demand that we pause. And
Yes.
that's when it gets tricky, and it can get very,
Not fun.
very tumultuous and not fun. So the best way to find me, most all my platforms have a suffix of Robert Mentoring. So whether it's facebook.com/Robert Mentoring, on LinkedIn, Robert Mentoring, on Instagram, Robert Mentoring, on TikTok, Robert Mentoring with an ING, that's probably the easiest way to reach out and connect. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Robert. Adam?
In collaboration, we also want to remember that we have a relationship with ourselves. And like Robert was saying, take care of yourself physically with nutrition. And I do, it's really important to me, but also in business and also in rest and also in vacation. So for me, that's super important. And there's something that we live by called the golden rule. And the golden rule is really good. It's golden for people you don't know. Okay, treating somebody the way that you want to be treated is good. But for somebody you know and you love or you're collaborating with, learn the platinum rule. Treat them how they want to be treated, which is very oftentimes not how you want to be treated. Some of my worst conflicts with my wife are treating her the way I want to be treated. So in collaboration, you can take that next level up. For me, I'm real easy, fasterclass.tv. It's not a .com, it's fasterclass.tv. Or for anybody listening live, just hit me up on my LinkedIn page. It's real simple.
Awesome. Thank you all so very much. This was a joy to have you here today and learn from you. And I hope our viewers really have enjoyed this as much as I have. And so with that, folks, we'll see you next time on Collaboration Conversations. Bye for now.